Hi, my name's James, and today I was Bookstores Restoration. I shall be restoring a Darling Housewife hand-powered washing machine from 1920. Right, this is the latest contraption that's been handed to me by my father, an old washing machine. It is wood on the base with a zinc handle, a zinc basin, an iron base, a nice little copper tap to drain the water, and inside a twirling device for agitating your clothes and water. Right, the most obvious thing to do first is to sand the wood down using a sanding disc attached to a drill. Now, because the drill sander can't get in these gaps, I'm using some sandpaper between a square block of wood. Now we're going to sand down the metal parts with this wire brush drill bit. Now we could spend some considerable time sanding down all the paint from this down to the blue layer, but there's no guarantee we'll get the blue layer, so we're going to leave this here, just wire brush it, but we're going to wire brush this tap. Now we're going to de-rust the iron base using a steel wire wool drill bit. Now, because the base is wonky due to some of the leg being rusted off, we're going to have to improvise by putting these old brackets inside each side here, screwing and gluing them on, which will provide some stability. Now we can turn our attention to the handle. Underneath, I think there used to be a block of wood between those bolts there. So I think the best thing to do is take those bolts off. Now we can't actually take those washers off because they're fused and rusted to the bolts. And anyway, if we did cut them off, there's no way of screwing extra bolts on them because they taper to the ends and they're all worn. So what we're going to do, as this is loose, we're going to glue this piece to the base here, then insert some wedges of wood underneath these 3 bolts to hold it in place. Now we can cautiously polish this sign. The lettering is a little faint, so we're going to start off with a cloth and some brass polish. I'm going to move on with some grey 00 wire wool. Right, that's all polished and looking dandy. Now we're going to just sand off the sides here and we'll have a read of it. Right, let's just read part of it.
The Housewife's Darling Washer. Instructions for use. Number 1. Shave about ½ pound of good household soap into washer, or use soap flicks and fill with boiling water up to the mark on board, first making sure that the drain tap is off. Close lid and move agitator handle backwards and forwards. Press cap sluted. London.
Now we need to make a handle for this part here. I'm going to use round piece from the end of my pickaxe. Rather than fill the top here with wood filler, I'll just saw off the top of this screw and glue it in there. Now we're going to mix some brown shoe polish with some wood putty and fill in the woodworm holes. Like here, for example, these woodworm holes are quite extensive. I don't know whether they're dead or not. I assume so. But if I cover it and we see any more holes emerging, we know then to throw the thing out. Right, for some woodworm treatment, we're going to use some garlic oil. We're going to mix that with linseed oil, 50-50. Right, there we are, project complete. Apart from these screws inside, which my dad says he wants to do himself for some reason. Prerogative of the client. So you got a nice little brass tap there. We haven't cleaned that out. The paint, well, it looks nice like that. The wood looks terrible now it's painted, but it's not dry yet. We've got a new handle there, looks okay. Brass plaque. I don't know what the hell you would do with this apart from maybe turn it into a ice cooler. You could put ice within the compartment and for parties and that. If you were going to use it as a washing machine, why not? One of these cost a fiver to do up, but I wouldn't have such a woodworm infested item in my house.
Are you a darling housewife confused by modern washing machines? Sick of watching and waiting for the cycle to finish? Would you like to hand operate a machine for 5 hours a day, like something 100 years old covered in woodworm? Would you like it now? It's behind you. The darling housewife washing machine, self-vibrating, £5 and a skip.